The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Looks like Oklahoma and Texas may be making that early exit than a lot earlier than some people think. A lot of people are saying maybe 2024, but now with the Big 12 schedules not coming out, and usually they're out by now, some people are thinking they're trying to renegotiate and maybe find a middle ground to pay off their exit fees at a little bit of a cheaper rate. But while they're doing that and trying to negotiate this whole deal to try to get this over with for everybody, you have a few segments of the other hateful eight the 8 teams that are left behind. They're sort of dragging their feet on this, wetting their diapers a little bit, coming across somewhat as a mooch. Let's talk about it. Well, here we come again, riding in again on that outlaw posse. That's right, the OCF. That's the Outlaw of College Football. That's me, JPC. That also stands for Jesse Paul Clark on Facebook, spelled Jessc without the I, and also on Twitter at OCF Productions. Now, getting right to it. Seems like that, I'm sort of torn on this in a way sometimes because, I can see some of the, angst that what they call the hateful eight, the irate eight, whatever they call them. I can see some of their points of views because, Texas and Oklahoma did drag their feet a little bit on the whole expansion thing a few years back. More Texas than Oklahoma from what I understand. And my argument has always been that the reason why I don't think Texas and Oklahoma should have to pay any kind of exit fee is because they didn't sign up or agree to have 4 new teams that they would have to actually play. Now, if the Big 12 wants to add 4 teams, then they can wait until Texas and Oklahoma leave. If not, to me, that would be some kind of breach of contract. Now, it hasn't been pursued yet. Probably because of some legalities that I'm not aware of because I'm not really educated up on all the legalities of it. But it does sound a little, to me, like Texas and Oklahoma may have a case for an early exit. And that's why I think that, there's been talk of it's $168 million or something like that. They're trying to negotiate it down to a lower tag price. And it looks like the Big 12 may be coming around and thinking, you know what, let's just go ahead and get this over. But there's a lot of people out there in segments of the fan base, my boy Kuz included. Me and him agree on most things, but on this one we sort of disagree because, like I said, I think that Texas and Oklahoma, while they did some things that they probably shouldn't have done, they were not on the up and up. They were a little secretive and shady about them leaving to go to the SEC. It still doesn't change the fact that they didn't sign up to play 4 teams and share money with 4 teams that they didn't have anything really to do with bringing in. You want to say that, well, Texas and Oklahoma nixed an expansion a few years back, so they need to deal with it. But Texas and Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken, were not the only teams that voted against expansion a few years back. I think teams like Kansas State and Oklahoma State and possibly West Virginia were not down with expansion a few years back. They were kowtowing to Oklahoma and Texas too at the time. So it ain't all just Oklahoma and Texas' fault that y'all did not expand a few years back, from what I understand. So now moving forward, I think that the Big 12 needs to renegotiate with Oklahoma and Texas. Come to a middle ground, let them leave, move on. Move on with y'all's lives. I know we want to keep them in here in our TV deal because we'll make more money. It just makes it look sad to me. It makes it look like y'all are still mooching off of Oklahoma and Texas. And that was one of the reasons why they said they were leaving, is because they were tired of carrying everybody else. Although both teams have been somewhat down, Oklahoma just this past year, but Texas more so, has been down, but they still bring in the money. They still have that marketability about them. So instead of continuing to hold on like a scorned lover, just let them go, man. Negotiate and come to a middle ground. Bring your 4 teams in and move on and prove yourself, and prove yourself as that you really don't need Texas and Oklahoma anymore. Because right now, from the way I see it, from the outside looking in, not as a Big 12 guy, as an unbiased observer, it seems like they are, once again, y'all are wanting them to let y'all mooch off of them. Y'all want them to carry you at least for another 2 years. It's just not a good look. Not to me. I mean, my boy Cruz was talking about we're just not going to be bullied. I don't really think it's bullied when Texas and Oklahoma are just trying to move on, and y'all want to try to, squeeze as much money as you can out of them, because y'all said yourself before that y'all can't compete with the SECs and the Big Tens of the world. Well, since y'all openly admit that, why should they have to carry you? If they're officially going to be SEC schools in a couple of years, why not just let it go? They're still going to give you money. You're still going to come out with a lot of money. So just let it go. Make the deal and let them go. If you miss out on a little drop in the bucket, I heard that they would be missing out on maybe $3.4 million. In the grand scheme of things, that's not really that much. You bring in those 4 schools and they start producing, and I think they will, because BYU has always had a great fan following. BYU is a pretty good steal for the Big 12. BYU is the only non-Power 5 school to ever win a national championship that I'm aware of in the modern era in 1984. Central Florida is a big-time campus, got a huge enrollment and alumni base. And y'all going to be fine, man. So just let go. Quit wetting your diapers. Quit being that scorned lover. And let go. You guys and guys, tell me what you think about all that. Also, there's a heart down here. It says thanks. Hit that. Throw me a few dollars in the coffers. Keep me up and going. Keep me motivated. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Class is now officially dismissed.